Good evening, everyone. So before we start our lessons, let's pay homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. We are talking about beautiful chetas. Beautiful chetas. Among them, we are talking about sincere, beautiful chetas. So last week we talked. Saturday we finished Mahakusala. Great wholesome chetas. Great wholesome chetas. So today we'll talk about the result of Mahakusala chetas. The result. Last Saturday, I also explained that there are two types of the resultant chetas. So that's a result of Mahakusala chetas. So the first one is called Sahetuka Kamavachara Vipaka chetas. Vipaka means resultant. Kamavachara means sincere. So Sahetuka means with the root, with the roots. So here with the root, we have a three type of root. Aloba, adosa, amoha. Aloba, adosa, amoha. So actually we have a two resultant chetas. One is Sahetuka with the root. The other one is without root. But here Sahetuka. So they have a different functions. Sahetuka Vipaka chetas perform the function of rebirth, life continuum, and death. Last Saturday also I talk about this one. So after doing Mahakusala chetas, great wholesome chetas, then the moment we die, so if those wholesome mental state arises in our mind, as a result, our rebirth linking will be wholesome one. Our rebirth link will be wholesome one. Wholesome resultant. So wholesome resultant is nothing but this one. Sahetuka Kamavachara Vipaka chetas. Wholesome resultant chetas with the root. So actually, in one lifetime, if we have a rebirth linking consciousness as a resultant chetas, wholesome resultant chetas, then our life continuum also will be the same. Our death continuance, our death consciousness also will be the same. Suppose if we were born in this life, with the wholesome, the first wholesome resultant chetas with the root, then our life continuum also will be the same type of chetas. And also our death consciousness also will be the same type of chetas. Another one is as a result of Mahakusala chetas, and we will have a Ahetuka Kusala Vipaka chetas. Trying to remember these were in Pali. Actually, I will use only a few Pali terms. Don't worry that I will not use so many Pali terms. But as a regarding with the chetas, so I will use a few Pali terms so that the next time when we are talking about chetas, it's easier for us. So when I talk in Pali, it's easier for you to understand. Here, as a result of Mahakusala chetas, we have two types of Vipaka chetas. Number one, Sahetuka Kamavachara Vipaka chetas. Next one is Ahetuka Kusala Vipaka chetas. So even though they are resultant chetas, they have different functions. So currently, I think you may not know very clearly. So when we go to third chapter, comprehensive meaning of Abhidhamma, page number 122, you will understand better. Currently, don't worry that here, Sahetuka means with the root. With the root means Alopa, Adosa, Amoha. So their function is rebirth linking. They will perform the function of rebirth linking and life continue and death. So, and also Ahetuka Kusala Vipaka Chetas. As a result of Kusala Chetas, and you will have Ahetuka Kusala Vipaka Chetas as a result. So here they perform the function of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, receiving, and investigating. So after doing good things, after doing wholesome things, then you will see pleasant things. You will hear pleasant songs. You will smell pleasant smells, and you will taste pleasant taste, and you will touch. You have a pleasant touch, and also your mind have to receive and investigate good things. So I say that's the talk Husankama. So here, I think you can understand that after doing wholesome things, good things with Mahakusala Chetas, as a result, you will have two types of Vipaka Chetas, two types of resultant Chetas. One with the root, another one with the root. So they have a different function. So Sahetuka Vipaka perform the function of rebirth linking, life continuing, and death function. Ahetuka Kusala Vipaka Chetas perform the function of seeing. After doing good things, you will see good things. Hear, smell, taste, touch, receiving, and investigating. So this is the different functions. I hope I already explained last week, last lessons. I hope you understand this one. Any question regarding with this resultant chetas? So resultant cheta also we have 8 type of resultant chetas. One accompanied by joy and 4 accompanied by joy, another 4 accompanied by equanimity. Okay. See how.
Evening, Bhante.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, regarding this resultant chitta, the resultant chitta, you mentioned that if it's a rebirth linking, is that? Yeah. Rebirth linking and life continuum and until death, the resultant will be there. But will it be sort of affected by the action that we did in our life continuum?
This is the result of our previous karma that we have done in the past life, not this life.
Yes. Yes, but you mentioned that it will be carried over to this life through the rebirth linking.
We can say so, but it is metaphorically we say though it will be carried. But do not think that it will arise all the time, but it arises and passes away. But the energy will be there.
Yeah.
That means energy will be there.
So it won't be throughout the whole your your present life, isn't it? Because
Yeah, you're right.
that means if we were to do some unwholesome actions, it will sort of counteract this the previous life wholesome karma.
Suppose you was born with the first vipaka cheda in this life.
Yes, yes.
Accompanied by joy and associated with knowledge.
Yep.
And unprompted. Suppose this is the first cheta that you that is a suppose you are rebirthing in consciousness.
Yes.
So because of you are rebirthing in consciousness associated with the joy, so that means your mental state will be you are actually naturally your mind is associated with the joy. Naturally, you will have the knowledge or wisdom will be influenced, and you will be intelligent. If somebody say something, you will right away understand because your rebirth linking is accompanied by knowledge.
Yeah.
Now that way, unprompted.
Yeah.
So you are, if you do something, naturally your mind is very active and full of motivation and full of effect. You are not lazy person because of that unprompted mind. So this is you are rebirth linking consciousness, or we can say that this is a genetic.
Okay.
Genetic. But even though you are rebirth linking consciousness is, so here also remember that if rebirth linking consciousness will arise as the first cheta in our life, then after that, the similar state of mind will arise. So that is called life continuum. Life continuum.
Yeah.
So there will be a lot of life continuum.
Yes.
Our past good and bad karma or karmic energy will be installed or will be influence our life continuum. So for that reason, some people are very intelligent. It will be the whole life. But some are not intelligent the whole life. But what we, of course, our current karma, current good or bad karma will influence our life continuum. Life continuum. Even though your life continuum is, so the first state of vipaka chetas, if we are doing unwholesome thing all the time in this life, all these unwholesome actions will be influenced the way you react, the way you think.
So if along the way it influences your wholesome state of mind, so is there a possibility of that?
Is there?
Possibility of the unwholesome, that's unwholesome actions influence what you have from the rebirth linking. Is there any possibility?
Yeah, it will be our unwholesome karmic energy in the past life will influence. So for that reason, some people naturally they are wicked.
No, what I mean is this life. This life, you have unwholesome, you maybe just, is there a possibility of you being unwholesome, committing unwholesome acts? Even though your rebirth linking is wholesome.
Your rebirth linking consciousness is wholesome one.
Yes.
As a result of wholesome karma in the past life. So
yes,
that means you are doing unwholesome things, right?
Yes.
This life.
This life.
Yeah. How to say? Of course, it's possibility.
Yeah.
possibility. If your mind is, if your rebirth linking consciousness is accompanied by compassion and loving kindness, right? Compassion and loving kindness. Likely you will not do unwholesome, how to say, cruel things. But of course, there will be a lot if the environment is influenced. The influence of environment is too much. You will do it.
There's a possibility.
Yeah, possibility.
Okay. Hopefully not. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Bhante,
Okay.
for the explanation.
Aku.
Namaste, Bhante.
Okay.
I would like to ask whether to be born as a human being, our life continuum chitta always good, Bhante?
It can be, suppose accompanied by joy, it can be good. If you are rebirth linking consciousness is the last one, accompanied by equanimity, dissociated from knowledge, prompted. Actually, your mental state may not be very, not very good. A very, of course, is a very nominal stage. But as a human beings, we still have another rebirth linking consciousness. So that is how to say, investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity. So this one is for disabled people, the people who actually all these one we were studying in that chapter. So we still have another rebirth linking mental state, rebirth linking chaita for another type of human being, especially for disabled people. So that is investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity. So this is a rootless wholesome result. Yeah, actually normally these 8 how to say, this is a sahetuka kama vachara vipaka chaitas, wholesome resultant chaita with the root. So these will be the resultant rebirth linking chaitas of human beings.
So at least aloba adosa, Bhante?
At least, yeah, you're right. At least aloba adosa.
Yeah.
For those, I will say that those who are learning Abhidhamma, 3 root.
Yeah.
Also amoha also.
Yeah.
So that means if you don't have amoha, not accompanied by knowledge, you will not understand what I'm talking. You will not understand Abhidhamma. So for that reason, I always say that those who are learning Abhidhamma, you were born with the 3 root.
Bhante, I would like to ask, from the animals, can be reborn as a human or can be reborn as a deva, like the example of in one sutta?
They can respond.
What I always query myself, actually, what is their object, Bhante? Like from frog become deva. What is the object that this frog can become deva, Bhante? Or, for example, animal from dog become human being. Whether this object is that he did as an animal, or he did in previous life as human being or as deva.
As animals, just like the story of a frog. So the frog is listening to the Dhamma. Suddenly a cowboy came and he pressed the frog with the cane, right? Cane. So the frog died. So by that time, the object of his mind is the sounds what the Buddha is talking, the sounds of the Dhamma. So this is his object. Because of that, he was born as a Devas.
But of course, as a frog, he doesn't have the mind listening to the sound of the Buddha, maybe equanimity and also associated with knowledge, Bhante. But how come become a very powerful deva? And after he come back to the word, he can become Sotapanna.
Actually, even animal. Actually, in the fifth, not the fifth, the fourth chapter, we will have to learn. Even anime, they can arise in their mind. They can arise eight Mahakusala Chetas. 8 Mahakusala Chetas. So because of that Mahakusala Chetas, wholesome mental states, they were born in the heavenly realms.
So possible associated with the knowledge, Bhante.
Yeah, possible. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Okay, teacher Lily.
Yes, there's one question here.
Okay.
This student want Bhante to clarify. For Sahetuka Kamavachara Vipaka Chitta, should it be instead Sahetuka Kusala Kamavachara Vipaka Chitta or Maha Vipaka Chitta? As Kamavachara Chitta does include Akusala Chitta too.
No, actually, we can use any of them. We can use any of them because if we talk about Kamavachara Vipaka, Kamavachara Sahetuka, Kamavachara Vipaka, so that means Sahetuka means there is no Akusala. There is no Akusala. No way, no way. So for that reason, we can use any of them. Sahetuka Kamavachara Vipaka Chetas. Kamavachara Vipaka Chetas. Another one is Mahavipaka Chetas. And also, we can use Mahavipaka as well as Sahetuka Kusala Vipaka Chetas. Okay. Okay, Hakin.
Good night, Bhante.
Okay, yeah, good evening.
I want to ask we also do know that past life maybe we have a lot of unwholesome karma or unwholesome chitta. And this life also at the beginning of life, maybe we, because still do not understand the Buddha teaching, then we commit a lot of we break the sila. But the very important thing is that when we are how to live our conscious live our body or our mind, then the very important is that the last moment, which one is continue. Yeah. So how we train, we just maybe we also have a possibility that, and the last moment they appear is the unwholesome chittas. So how we train our conscious to become like more possibility comes out is the wholesome chittas. Is any like ways to train, because last moment is the very important moment for our next life.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante.
Maybe again, this is the thing that I am going to share. Yeah. Maybe I will quote one sodas. How to train our mind to have a good the last stop moment. So here, actually, according to this soda, we call it simile or sort. Simile or sort. In Gota Nikaya, chapter 3, soda number 100. So here we have a cup of water, and also we have a cup of salt. So here the water represents Kusala Chetas, wholesome Chetas. Suppose if you have a little bit of wholesome Chetas, and you have a lot of unwholesome Chetas here, salt, right? But if you put salt into the cup of water, can you will you be able to drink? No way, right? Cannot drink. It was very salty. It was very salty. So, so here water represent wholesome Chetas, Kusala Chetas. The salt represent unwholesome chaitas or unwholesome actions. Suppose you have a little bit of wholesome karma, kusala karma, then you have a lot of unwholesome karma. So that means it will not be possible to have equals the last thought movement. Very rare, in very rare cases, you may have equal the last thought movement. But here, what we can train is, we have a lot of water in the river, right? The same amount of salt, the same amount of salt. So that means you're trying to have kusala karma as much as possible, trying to do good things as much as possible. Even though you may have unwholesome karma, just like a salt in the cup of water, in the cup, but you pour that salt into the river, so the water will not make any difference. You can drink, right? Can drink.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is, if we want to have a good, the last thought movement, we should try our best to do good things. But of course, as a human being, you may have unwholesome karma. You may have that unwholesome karma. But no need to worry. What we have to do is do more good deed, do more good things. So that is, I think that will be the best way. So if you are doing good things in your life, then naturally you will definitely have a good the last thought moment. You will have a confidence to die. So for that reason, I always encourage students to attend Dhamma courses. Even though you have learned the topic or the subject, trying to learn again, because you'll be able to digest at least while you are listening to the Dhamma, then your mind is associated with knowledge, and also your mind is full of kusala karma. So these will be energy in our mind. So even today, I taught to my devotee, the one who is teaching the Dhamma, I told her that I'm confident to die because I'm doing good things all the time. So even I'm dying in the accident, with the accidents, then I still with confidence. So that is the power of kusala karma. So if we want to have a course, the last thought movement, so from now on, try our best to do good things. So that will be the best method. Of course, in the Pali Canon, there are some stories, how to say, the hunters who have done a lot of killings in his the whole life, and as a result of a good the last thought movement, he was born as a devas. But this is a very rare case, very rare case. So I think not only the last thought movement, in every moment, I think this sutta is very, very good example. So the Buddha gives this example. So if we put the salt in the cup, so we cannot drink the water. It will be very salty. So here, salt represent akusala karma. The water represent kusala karma. Then if we make our kusala karma just like a river, the water in the river, so the same amount of salt will not make any difference. We can still drink, it will not be too much different. So for that reason, I think this sutta is a very good example. So regarding with the last thought movement, so the Buddha gave another simile in another sutta. Somebody bring a pot of ghee underneath the water. Then you break the pot. all the fragments of the pot will go down, and the ghee inside the pot will go up. So just like that, if you are doing good things all the time, no need to worry. The laptop movement will be, how to say, good. I think I would say that 99%. Okay, so this is a very good sutta. I want you to read this sutta. In Koran Nikaya, chapter 3, surah number 100. Okay, so maybe let's close this session. Today, I want to discuss a very important one. So that is Kriya Chaitas. So here, a man Kamavachara Sovana Chaitas, we have 8 Kusala Mahavipaka Chaita. Sorry, 8 Mahakusala Chaita and 8 Mahavipaka Chaita. And also we have 8 Mahakriya Chaitas. Sense sphere functional consciousness. Whenever Arahants and the Buddhas perform good deed, so Arahant and the Buddha also, they do good deed like dana and sila and bhavana. So whenever they do good deed, they do with one of the 8 type of Kriya Chaitas. 8 type of Kriya Chaitas. Here, in long usage, Sa He Dukkha Kamavachara Kriya Chaitas. Sense sphere functional consciousness with the root. Among 80 Ahetuka Chaitas, we have another 3, right? Another three. So this is another 3 Kriya Chaitas, but they are rootless. But here, Sa Hetuka. Here's a typo error. Sa Hetuka with the root. So here with the root me, Loba dosa aloba, adosa amoha. So these functional chaitas are javana chaitas. So therefore, they are very powerful. They are very powerful. So here I use this sentence because people misunderstand that if somebody became arahant, so he will not have active mind. It is misunderstanding. Because here we are learning about Kriya Chaitas, Kamavachara Kriya Chaitas, Mahakriya Chaitas. So they are the minor Arahant, the Buddha and Pacheka Buddhas. So they are Javana. They're very powerful. So therefore, the actions or activities of Arahant and the Buddhas are very powerful. Even though their life is threatened, they will still do it. If they think that they will do it. Very powerful. Even though they know that somebody will not like, when he or she says something as the Arahant, they will still speak. It's very powerful. Because Kriya Chaitas are Javana Chaitas. Then I will show, actually we have learned mind process. So Kriya Chaitas are impassion. So the Buddhas and Arahant, so they have life continuum as we do, life continuum. So when the Buddha and Arahant see something, then life continuum will vibrate. Then after that, advancing consciousness. So their mind will advance to the object. Then eye consciousness, receiving consciousness, investigating consciousness, determining consciousness. The same, the same like us. But what is different is, after determining, their mind is Kriya Chaitas. Their mind is Kriya Chaitas, not Kusala Chaita, not Kusala Chaitas. Even though they are doing good things, we call it good things, like Dana, Sila, Bhavana, but their mental state is not a Kusala Chaitas, Mahakusala Chaitas. So their mind is called Mahakriya Chaitas. So that Mahakriya Chaita is impassion or Javana. Javana is very powerful. So for that reason, so the Buddha spent 45 years to separate his teachings. He will go many places. He will deal with different people. Some are very difficult to deal with because of Kriya Chaita. Kriya Chaita is very powerful. It's very powerful because it is Javana or impassion. Then after that, then to retention. Oh, sorry. Arahant and the Buddha, they do not have a retention Chaitas. They don't have a retention Chaitas. After impassion, then life continues. Arahant and the Buddha, they don't have retention Chaitas. Another one is the Brahmas, Rupa and Arupa Brahma, they also do not have retention Chaitas, registration Chaitas. So later, I think we will have to learn. We will have to learn. In the Suttas, the word Kriya and Karma mean action or activity. So that means in the Suttas, so sometimes the Buddha used together. So the Buddha said that I am Karmavadi, I am Kriyavadi. So I am the speaker of the Karma, the speaker of Kriya. So that means Kriya and Karma have the same meaning, the same definition. That's called actions or activity. But here, Abhidhamma made them a technical term. Abhidhamma made them technical term. So Kriya is in Abhidhamma. The word Kriya is used for the actions of Arahants and the Buddhas. Karma for actions of the rest of the individuals, including Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Anagami. So this is it's important to know that, important to know. In the Suttas, Kriya and Karma are used together, but Abhidhamma make it technical term. So both are the same. So their definition is the same, actions or karma. So Arahant, they speak, we also speak. Arahant, they will do with their body, we also do with their body. So they are actions. But Abhidhamma make it different. Abhidhamma use technical term for the Buddha and Arahant. It's called nothing but Kriya. Kriya me, here to differentiate with karma, we use functioning, or function. Actually, they are the same. They are the same. Abhidhamma use Kriya to differentiate the actions of Arahants and the Buddha and actions of the other individuals. So here, since Arahants and the Buddha do not have any ignorance, avijja, but here ignorance and delusion are the same. And craving, tanha. So their actions are not considered as karma or karma formation. And this is very important to know. So the Buddhas and Arahants, so they don't have ignorance. They don't have a craving in their mind. For that reason, so their actions are not considered as a karma or karma formation. So I say Puthojana, I say Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, we still perform karma. Because our actions are accompanied by ignorance and craving. Because of that, we was born in a new existence. But Arahant and the Buddha, they do not have any ignorance and craving. So they will speak something because it is necessary to speak. It is good to speak. After they are speaking, many people will benefit from it because of that they are speaking, not because of ignorance or not because of craving. But for normal people, we are talking, we are speaking out of ignorance, out of craving. So because of that, so the hidden agenda. Because of that, we are creating karma. Because of those karma, and we have existence, and we are suffering. We have a lot of problem. So even though Arahant and the Buddha, they are doing good things. So they don't have ignorance, they don't have a craving. Because of that, there will be no existence, no next life, no next life. There's no craving for existence. Because of that, so after they die, finish. So here I use this one because quoting dependent originations. So dependent origination, but Paticca Samuppada said that with the remainder fading away and cessation of ignorance comes cessation of karma formation or sankhara. But here, when we use the word sankhara, actually it is same as karma, same as a karma. We can call it mundane karma, cessation of karma formation. So that means Arahant and the Buddha, they don't have ignorance. So because of that, there's no way to have karma formation, to have a sankhara. So even non-ratana, even Nagami, they still have ignorance in their mind. Because of ignorance, they still have a craving for rupa and arupa jhana, and also existence of rupa and arupa realms because of ignorance. So ignorance is totally removed only by Arahant and the Buddha. So by quoting this passage from dependent origination, so we can understand that. So the actions of Arahant and the Buddha, they are not considered as a karma or karma formation because they don't have ignorance and craving. According to Abhidhamma, except 5 sense door advancing consciousness and mind door advancing consciousness, except these two, so the rest of the 80 Kriya Chaitas arise only in Arahants and the Buddhas. We have altogether 20 type of functional Chaitas, functional consciousness. Among them, only 2 arise in every individual. So when our mind opens the door, that comes from the physical, in the 5 physical doors, that is called 5 door advancing consciousness. It just opens the door. So there will be no wholesome karma. When our mind opens the door, that's called mind door advancing. So these 2 functional Chaitas can arise in every individual, even for us. in forest. But the rest of the 80 Kriya Chaitas will arise only in Arahants and the Buddhas. Arahant and the Buddhas. So the main reason is the absence of ignorance and craving in the minds of Arahant and the Buddha. The main reason is they don't have ignorance, avijja, or craving. So actually, the ignorance and craving are the source of our suffering. In other words, we can call it second noble truth, the original suffering. But of course, the original suffering is craving. But that craving arises because of ignorance. So in many suttas, so the Buddha point out the reason why we are wandering in a long stretch of samsara because of two components: ignorance, avijja, and craving, tanha. But of course, in the noble, Four Noble Truth, when we talk about the original suffering, craving. So in that discourse, the Buddha highlight the importance of craving. But in the dependent origination, the Buddha highlight importance of ignorance. So for that reason, when we read second Abhidhamma text, Vibhanga text, so actually Vibhanga, Abhidhamma mention different type of, different category of the original suffering, So here, main reason is the absence of ignorance and craving in the minds of Arahant and the Buddha. So later I will use some suttas to explain this. Normally, our actions are motivated by ignorance and craving. Ignorance means we don't know wholesome or unwholesome. We don't have a wisdom or understanding at that moment because of that craving arise. Because of craving, we are reacting, we are speaking, we are doing something, we are thinking something. Because of those ignorance and craving, we have been a lot of problem in our life, mental and physical problem. But Arahant and the Buddha, they also will speak, they also will do with their body, they also will think. But in their mind, there's no ignorance. And all the time, they are very alert, and they don't have a craving. They don't have a craving at all. Because of that, even though they are speaking, if it is necessary, they will speak. If necessary, they will do, and they will think. So their actions are not motivated by ignorance or craving. Because of that, even if they encounter with a lot of problem in their job, but they don't have any mental suffering in their mind. Even though the Buddha suffer with this body, there's no mental suffering in his mind. Just accept it as it is. So that is because of Kriya Chaita, or functional mind. Then I will use some suttas below. But here, the functional consciousness arises in the minds of Arahant and the Buddha. Now, this is my question. If the worldlings hear me Puthojana, I think many of you have is very familiar with the word Puthojana, right? Those who are meditating, you will hear a lot of word Puthojana. Puthojana means normal people. Not extraordinary people. So Puthojana means ordinary people. Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahant, they are extraordinary people or noble persons. So here, the worldlings, Puthojana, and the trainees, Sikha. Here, training me, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, 3 persons. But of course, if we count, exactly is 7 persons, 7 people. The trainee, Sikha. If the Puthojana and Sikha do wholesome deed, without ignorance, without craving, is it possible to call the state of their mind as a Kriya Chaita? That's my question. If not the same, we can call it as a pseudo-functional consciousness by referring to some suttas. Actually, I will refer to some suttas to talk about this. According to Abhidhamma, except 2 chaitas, 2 Kriya Chaitas, the rest of the 80 arise only in the minds of Arahant and the Buddha, not in any other individuals. But here, that's my question. The main reason will be absence of ignorance and craving. Suppose as in a normal person, as a Puthojana, we do something without any ignorance, without any craving. Then can we call our mental state as a Kriya Chaitas? Maha Kriya Chaitas? That's my question. But of course, according to Abhidhamma, no way. But here, I think we can, if we are doing something, if we are doing good things, wholesome deed, without any ignorance. But in our mind, there's no ignorance. Full of wisdom and full of understanding instead of ignorance. And we don't have a craving if we are doing something. Suppose you saw suffering people, then you have compassion in your mind. You want to release their suffering. Because of that compassion, you help them. So that is in your mind. There's no craving in your mind, no hidden agenda in your mind. Pure compassion, you want to release their suffering. That's all. By that moment, there's no craving in your mind. No craving in your mind. So those actions of our individual normal person, can we call Mahakriya Chaitas? I will say that we can call it. But of course, it is not in according with the Abhidhamma. But even if we cannot call such actions as a Mahakriya Chaita, we can call pseudo-functional consciousness. So that means state of mind, which is similar to the state of Arahant and the Buddha. Then I will use some suttas. Uposatha Sutta. Uposatha means, how to say, full moon, new moon day. Let's say full moon, new moon day. Uposatha. So in that sutta, the Buddha is talking to Visakha. So Visakha came to temple the full moon day or new moon day. Then the Buddha taught to Visakha. This noble disciple, Visakha, reflect that. So as long as they live, the arahants abandon and abstain from distraction of life. With the rod and weapon laid aside, conscientious and kindly, they dwell compassionate toward all living beings. So So here, as long as Arahant live, so they were abandoned, killing, and also they are always lay aside all the weapons and rod. They are conscientious, they're very kind, compassionate toward all living beings, But here, today, for this night and day, I share to abandon and abstain from distraction of life, with the rod and weapon laid aside, conscientious and kindly, I too share dwell compassionate to all living beings. I too share dwell compassionate all sentient beings. But here, the Buddha said that I shall imitate the Arahants in this respect. The Uposatha will be observed by me. But here the word, so the Buddha used the word imitate, anukaramic. So here the Buddha is giving suggestion to normal people. So Arahant were abandoned, killing, always compassionate to all living beings. Just like that, just like Arahant, then I will observe my Uposatha. I will observe Sila by imitating the Arahants. Today, at least today, I will not kill any sentient beings. Then I will be compassionate toward all sentient beings. So by imitating the Arahants. So that means living like an Arahant, even for one day is living with the functional mind. I will say that if we can stay, if we can spend one day, even for one day, just like the Arahant, so that means we are living with the functional mind, with one of the Mahakriya Chaitas. Even if we cannot say, we cannot use Mahakriya Chaitas according to Abhidhamma, we can say, I will say that pseudo-functional consciousness is similar state of mind. So Abhidhamma teachers will not like it, but for me, I want to say that this is a functional mind. Because the main reason we are talking about Mahakriya me, state of mind, where there's no ignorance and there's no craving. So when we are doing something without ignorance and without craving, that can be called functional mind. Even we cannot call that, we can say that pseudo-functional consciousness. So here, and actually by quoting this sutta, imitate the Arahant. We can imitate the Arahant and the Buddha. So Arahant and the Buddha, they totally refrain from killing the whole life. Then they are always compassionate to all living beings, the whole life. But we can imitate for one day, on Uposatha day. Today, I will live like an Arahant, will not kill any sentient beings. I will practice compassion to all living beings. So if we are able to stay, if we are able to maintain the state of functional mind, then we can call it Mahakriya Chaita. By that time, if we do not have ignorance anymore, ignorance and craving, we can call it Mahakriya Chaita. Then I want to quote. Any question? I will talk about it later. Any question up to now? Any objection? According to Abhidhamma, of course, Mahakriya Chaitas arise only in Arahant and the Buddha. But now, by quoting Uposatha Sutta, I will say that Oh. Same, right? Okay, so I think the sound is not okay, right? How? Clear? Okay. And if something happened, we are using how to say the method, another method. It doesn't work. Okay, so Melvin.
Melvin.
Oh, Marvin. Okay.
Bhante, just going back on your explanation about the Kriya, Mahakriya, Chitta, you mentioned that they also have roots, but I thought that once if they are Arahant or Buddha or enlightened one, there's no more roots. The root is only for those people like us or those that haven't yet get enlightened who are subject to karma. I mean, that's my understanding. I could be wrong in my understanding here. I just wanted to clarify on this point because I thought the Arahants or the Buddha, I mean, they're already enlightened. They will not incur any more roots. If they do, they don't do kusala or vipada. I thought that's where the good roots or the bad roots come. So for Arahant and Buddha, shouldn't have any more roots. That's what I thought. I could be wrong. So I'd like to clarify that with Bhante.
Yeah. Actually, for Arahant and the Buddha, of course, they do. They have a three root: Alava, Adosa, Amoha. But they are not wholesome. They are not wholesome one. They are not kusala. We call it they are abhyagata, indeterminate. We call it abhyagata, indeterminate. So they are alaba, adosa, amoha. So they are the root are neither wholesome or unwholesome. Call it abhyagata, indeterminate. They still have a root yet. So they have compassion, right? Compassion in their mind. So compassion here means aloba. Sorry, adosa. So they have a generosity in their mind. So that means aloba. They have a wisdom. So that means amoha. Okay, so anyone? Any question? Okay, teacher Mei-Chin.
Evening, Bhante.
Okay, good evening.
I was just wondering because to concur with the Kriya Chitta about the Arahants, the one about the pseudo, I was thinking that the thing is that because usually when we say Arahant, you only become Arahant because you've already managed to eradicate the very fine defilements like mana, conceit, which is most of the time actually is still within even the anagamis.
Yeah.
But it's so subtle that we don't even realize that we have it sometimes because we're doing all these wholesome deeds most of the time already. I mean, to be Arahant, to be an anagami at that high stage is already very high, but still it is still underlying, you know. So even no matter how wholesome their deeds are, I still cannot concur that whatever they do can be considered as kriya cheaters, you know. So because it's still underlying we still have not eradicated some of the defilements. So no matter how pure our actions are, you know, so it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit difficult to sort of conquer.
I see. That means just like this sodas,
Mm.
If we are doing something without ignorance and craving,
Yeah.
at that moment, actually I refer to only at that moment. We can call it Magriya. Yeah, maybe at least pseudo.
Very close, but it's just a mirror. It's not the real person, right? It's like a mirror image.
At least we can say so.
Not real. Okay. All right.
But for me, I don't even want to say pseudo. I want to say is the functional mind.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's cool. Okay. I can't hear you. Maybe you. Hello? Okay. Oh, sorry, I can't hear you. Hello? Can you hear my voice clearly? My voice is clear? Hello? Can you hear my voice? Oh. Something happened. Can you hear my voice? Okay, okay. Cannot. Teacher Lily, can you hear my voice? Oh, sorry. Okay, so I don't know what happened. Hello? Sorry, maybe you ask later, later part. Okay. So this is a Bhante Sumangala. Bhante? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you, Bhante.
We always talk about Patisandhachit. So how these past behavior.
Bhante, something happened. I can't hear. Maybe I will change my microphone. Can you wait for a while? Hello?
Hello?
Bhante, yeah,
Can
I hear you.
now?
Yeah.
So I want to know about this. Did you hear what I said?
Can you repeat?
You know the Patisandhachit. So
Yeah.
So with that, how past behaviors, past skills, past karmas pass with the Patisandhachit. Is there a place where it is discussed?
Sorry, Bhante. Patisandhachita, what is it?
Yeah, but so we have past behaviors, past memories, and past skills. How these things pass with the Patisandhachit?
Yeah, actually, Bhante,
is there a place where these things are discussed?
Actually, in third chapter, we will talk about it regarding with the rebirth linking.
Yeah.
So as I earlier discussed that, so Patisandhachita or rebirth linking consciousness arises in this life because of our past karma in the previous life, especially the nearest our past life.
Yeah.
So all our mental attitude or mental energy will be manifested in Patti Chaita or rebelling in Chaitas.
Okay.
Okay, Bhante.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good night.
Okay, so this is a Uposatha Chaita. So the Borayu Dawa Anukarami. So Arahant, the whole life, they were not kill, and they were not steal, and they were not tail line, etc. So just like that. So today as a Uposatha day, so I will stay like Arahant. So that me, by the time, of course, in even one day, there will be, so of course, we cannot stay just like Arahant. So just like we are just talking on using the language, especially when we are meditating, so our mind is very mindful. We know meditation object very clearly. By that time, if there's no ignorance, because we know the object that we are meditating, that means we don't have ignorance. So by that time, just mindfulness and clear comprehension, only sati and panya arises at the time. Suppose within 1 minute. So if there's no ignorance and craving in our mind within 1 minute, I will say that such 1 minute is similar to the mind of the Buddha. Similar to the mind of the Buddha. So such mental state can be called functional mind. Teacher Lily.
Yes, just now the student actually wanted to ask Bhante this question. Why cannot call this as Mahakusala Chitta rather than Shuddho Kiriya Chitta? After all, this is also an action and a mental.
Can we call pseudo?
He said, why cannot call this Mahakusala Chitta rather than Shuddho Kiriya Chitta?
Oh, the reason is because of absence and presence of ignorance and craving. Suppose sometimes we do kusala karma, wholesome things, driven by ignorance and craving. Suppose somebody doing dana and observing sila and doing meditation. So they want to be born in the heavenly realm. Because of that, he do or she do. So his kusala karma, wholesome karma, is motivated by ignorance and craving, because he or she do not know that a rebirth in the heavenly realm also subject to suffering, and he have a craving to have a good rebirth in the heavenly realm. So even though he is doing kusala karma, actually is driven by, motivated by ignorance and craving. So because of that, it's called kusala karma. But here, somebody is doing good things, not motivated by ignorance and craving. Just like example, so we saw suffering people are suffering. Then compassion in our mind. Compassion is a atosa, the root of atosa. Then we have a pure compassion, and we want them to release from their suffering. For that reason, and we try to help them. out of pure compassion. So our motivation is, behind our motivation, there's no ignorance, there's no craving. So for that actions can be called Mahakriya. Mahakriya. That's my understanding. Even if we cannot call Mahakriya as a pseudo functional mind. So I think it's important to know. So we are trying to interpret or Mahakusala or Mahakriya. Depends on, based on absence of ignorance and craving. So if our actions, if our reactions are not motivated by ignorance and craving, such actions or activities can be called Mahakriya.
So Bhante, without ignorance is also amoha. And without craving is aloba. Is it right or wrong?
Yeah, we can say so. Without ignorance is a amoha, and without craving is aloba and adosa. We can say both.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Audrey Ho.
Yes, Bhante.
Yeah.
So following to the
I think
question,
can you wait for a while, because I want to finish my lessons, because
okay.
we still have another 10 minutes.
Okay.
After 9 o'clock, and we will have a discussion, further discussion.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Because okay, let's wait for a while.
Thank you, Bhante.
Because we have to finish our lessons 9 o'clock. Then after 9 o'clock, those who don't want, then they can leave. Those who want to discuss further, then you can stay back. Okay, so this is the sotas that I encoded for. So our actions, not motivated by ignorance and craving, we can call it Mahakriya. This is my own interpretation, not taught by the Abhidhamma, right? No, Abhidhamma. Then I encode this sota. So we do something by imitating the arahants. So for that reason, one time I talk living like an arahant, a Dhamma talk, the Buddhist fellowship, living like an arahant. At least we can live like an arahant for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, etc. Right? But of course, not easy. But here, to talk about, to know about the mind of arahant, I want to quote another sutta called the worthy of gift. In Goda Nikaya. So actually, Visuddhimagga gave the name as a Chalengupika, sixfold equanimity. So actually, arahants are worthy of gift because of these qualities, sixfold qualities. So we can imitate like arahant, we can imitate the arahants. So if we can practice like arahant for 1 minute, then I say that we are like arahant 1 minute. If we can stay 10 minutes, then 10 minutes like arahant. The same similar state of mind, like arahant. Here, having seen a form with the eye, a bhikkhu is neither joyful nor saddened, but dwells equanimous, upekkha viharati. mindful and clear comprehending. So actually this is a state of mind or the Arahant and the Buddha. Happen see a form, something with the eye. If Bhikkhu hear me Arahant, it refers to Arahant, state of mind. It's neither joyful nor saddened, but dread compassion, dread equanimous, and mindful and clear comprehension. So the rest of the sense species are also treated in the same way in the suttas. Here we have 6 sense species. That we see something with our eye, we hear the sound with the ear, we smell with the nose, we taste with the tongue, we touch with the body, we feel with the body, and we think with the mind. Normally, for normal people, when we see pleasant things, very exciting things, then we feel very happy. Our mind is elated, full of joy. When we see unpleasant things, we feel sad and we feel irritated. That is a normal state of mind. If you have a such question, don't worry, it's quite normal. Quite normal. Recently, when I go to Lanchtana, to one of my devotees, he told me his experience. 7 months ago, he came to Mangala Vihara and he came to our temple and we have a discussion. He is practicing different type of meditation, using different type of meditation method, or different type of meditation object. Then I give suggestion, trying to focus only one meditation object that he tried. So when I go to his house, and he said that now by following your advice, he can meditate for 2 hours, 3 hours. And he said that right now, even though he experienced good things, his mind is very still. Even though he experienced unpleasant things in his job, his mind is not moving. He can maintain stable state of mind because of meditation. Meditation here means equanimous, mindful, and clear comprehending. These are the quality of meditative mind. Those who are meditating quite well, so they are always mindful, they will know everything very clearly, whether they experience pleasant or unpleasant, whether they hear unpleasant sounds or pleasant sounds, they were always mindful. They will have a clear comprehension. So because of mindfulness and clear comprehension, a quality of mind will arise. That is nothing but equanimity, equanimous mind. So you will not have too much excitement when we experience pleasant things. You will not have any anger or irritation in your mind when you hear unpleasant sounds. Actually, that is the mind of Arahant and the Buddha. Of course, this is the extraordinary one. If you can practice, the guy I taught to, Burmese guy, he's meditating well. Because of that, he experienced. So he do not have any elation when he experienced pleasant things. He do not have any sadness. But of course, in general, he's talking in general. Sometimes he may have a sadness because he is not an Arahant. I will say that I told him this is a equanimity, upekha. So if Bhikkhu is neither joyful nor saddened, so when having seen a form with the eye, so here the form it can be pleasant or unpleasant. Normally our normal mind When we see pleasant things, too much excitement. Especially you think about girlfriend and boyfriend when they're very young, you know. When they see each other, too much excitement. So when they have to separate, suffering here, you know, suffering here. That is the normal mind. I want to say that it's normal mind, quite normal. But we can train our mind like around here, If you are mindful, if you comprehend very clearly whether they are pleasant or unpleasant, then you have equanimous feeling. Your mind is not moving either pleasant or unpleasant things. You will maintain stable state of mind. Then you can look at a life for a monk, just like me. No exciting things in our life. No TV, no listening music, no girlfriend. We got no exciting things. So because of that, our state of mind is very stable. Normally we stay with the equanimous mind. Of course, we hear unpleasant things because some of our devotees having cancer, having admitted to hospital. Of course, we have to maintain our state of mind. That is equanimous feeling. That is, we are living like an arahant. So here, three qualities are very important: equanimous, mindful, and clear comprehending. So these are the quality of the mind of arahant and the Buddha. But of course, they are always equanimous, mindful, and clear comprehending. But as a normal people like us, if we can practice 1 minute equanimity, mindfulness, and clear comprehending, so by that moment, within 1 minute, there is no ignorance, there is no craving. Because of that, our mental state will be very stable, like arahant. I will say that. So here, we have a 6 sense species. We see pleasant or unpleasant things. You can maintain balance of your mind. You will hear pleasant and unpleasant sounds. No anger, no craving. You can maintain. But here, clear comprehension means you don't have ignorance in your mind. I would say this is the Sutta itself said that it refers to arahant. But if we can live a state of equanimous mind, mindfulness, clear comprehending like arahant, 1 minute, then our mental state will be 1 minute Mahakriya Chaitas. That's my interpretation. But of course, at least we can say that pseudo Mahakriya Chaita. If we do something good things, motivated by ignorance and craving, of course, it's also called Kusala Karma, but we cannot call them Mahakriya because motivation, behind craving and ignorance. So here, this is my note. In these suttas, we can learn the mind of an arahant and also the beauty of Buddhist equanimity. People misunderstand the meaning of equanimity. So actually here, equanimous mind, equanimity is not evading or avoiding the object or its situation. When we see unpleasant things, we are not avoiding, and we know very clearly as unpleasant things. We hear unpleasant sounds. We are not avoiding. We know unpleasant sounds. Somebody is insulting you. You know that somebody is insulting you. You know very clearly, clear comprehension. But your mind is not shaking, either because of lobha or dosa. So here, the beauty of equanimity, equanimous mind, not evading the object or a person or a situation. It is just facing them with equanimity, mindfulness, and clear comprehension. if you have 3 quality, equanimity, mindfulness, and clear comprehension, then there will be no ignorance or no craving in your mind. Such mental state can be called Mahakriya Chaita, functional mind. Then I will quote, maybe very quickly, I will quote this one. Actually, I already talked about it in my Dhamma talk 2 weeks ago. How to say that? How to stabilize our emotions. How to stabilize our emotion. Those who haven't listened, then you can go and listen. How to stabilize your emotion. We need to stabilize and balance our emotion. But here in Dhammapara, and the Buddha said that as a solid rock is unshaken by the wind, even so the wise are unshaken by blame and praise. Sometimes we will encounter with the blame, sometimes we encounter with the praise. So when we encounter with the blame, angry, that's quite normal, it's not normal reaction. When we have somebody praise you, excited, feeling excited, elated. So your mind is not stable, not stable. So when we encounter with the blame or praise, no elation, no excitement, no aversion, no anger. You must be very equanimate, mindful, and clear comprehending. Then based on that 3 quality, you react. Even though somebody blame you, no angry, you are very calm, mindful, clear comprehending. Then you respond in the right way without any anger. So I will say that this is state of the mind of Arahant and the Buddha. So actually, there are many occasions that the Buddha encounter with blame, accusations, with the full of anger and revenge. And the Buddha stay very calmly, equanimate, very mindful. Then, in the right time, the Buddha will respond without any anger. So there will be no, so the people will be very, how to say, surprised, to see the Buddha is not moving, very calm. So this is the wise are unshaken by blame and praise. Actually, we have 8 worldly conditions. Sometimes we blame, sometimes praise, sometimes gain, sometimes loss, sometimes disrepute, sometimes fame. Sometimes you will have pleasure, sometimes you will have pain, pleasant and unpleasant things. So these are quite normal. For that reason, we call it worldly conditions. So when we encounter with worldly conditions, must be equanimate, mindful, and clear comprehension. Based on that 3 mental state, then you respond. So such action or such mental state can be called Mahakriya, functional minds. So the mind of Arahant and the Buddha. So if we are doing like Arahant and the Buddha, our mental state can be called. That's my interpretation. At least we can call pseudo Mahakriya. So this is a Mangala Sutta, and the Buddha said that whose mind is not disturbed when affected by worldly conditions. 8 things, pleasant and unpleasant things. Sorrowless, no sorrow. Stainless, so the mind is very pure. And secure, his mind is very secure. And this is the higher blessing. So this will be the mind of Arahant and the Buddha. So this will be the functional mind. So my point here is, if we are reacting without any anger, without any craving, without any ignorance, then our actions can be called Mahakriya or pseudo Mahakriya. Okay, so this will be the end of the lesson. So those who want to leave, you can leave now. And we still have another 10 minutes for discussion. Okay, question? So this is a discussion time. Okay, so Aku.
Namaste, Bhante.
Okay.
I'm not quite clear about the equanimity in the sense of feeling, equanimity and joy, and the equanimity with mindfulness and clear comprehension, Bhante. Because in a Arahan or Buddha case, when they do the Kiriya Chitta, Mahakiriya Chitta, they can also do with joy, Bhante.
Yeah, they can still have a joy, but here equanimate in the soda, equanimate here not a feeling. It's not a feeling. It is a, of course, it is a. According to Visuddhimagga, it is not a feeling. It is a chat lingu pika. Sits for equanimity. Of course, Arhan and the Buddha, so they were still with feeling. So when they experience good things, pleasant feeling. When they experience unpleasant things, unpleasant feeling. So when the object is neither pleasant or unpleasant, equanimity feeling. This is a feeling of Vedana. But here, in this soda, equanimity, your mind is not shaking. When either we encounter pleasant or unpleasant. Stable state of mind. That is called equanimous feeling. Of course, we can call it feeling, but that feeling is not shaken by how to say that, pleasant or unpleasant things.
Yeah, like the example in last course, Bhante mentioned about the boss who is criticized or insulted by the staff, and the boss gets equanimity. With equanimity, can accept that. That kind of examples can also arise the chitta with joy, Bhante. Like, for example, when our small children may be naughty or maybe unpolite to the parents, and the parents can accept this with equanimity mind, but also with joyful feeling, Bhante. Not always the chitta associated with equanimity, but also the chitta can be associated with joy.
Yeah, it can be, yeah.
It can be, Bhante, yeah?
Yeah, it can be. Even Arhan and the Buddha.
Yeah.
Man, we have 8 Mahakriya Chaitas. So man, the 8, 4 is accompanied by joy. Accompanied by joy. So here, what we are talking about, we call it is the spiritual equanimity. Spiritual equanimity. So I want you to encourage to listen the Dhamma talk, how to stabilize our emotion, or you look at the Visuddhimagga. So this one is not a, according to Visuddhimagga, this is not a feeling equanimity. So here is a sixfold equanimity. So when we, whether you see pleasant or unpleasant things, your mind is not waver, not shaking. Normally our mind, when we see unpleasant things, we don't like it with the doors up. Huh? When we see pleasant things, we like it. Our mind is jam into pleasant things with the lobe up. But here, equanimous mind, hear me, your mind is not moving, either pleasant or unpleasant, because you are mindful, you are clear comprehending. So that means you don't have loba and dosa. Loba and dosa. Then your mind is not shaking. Equanimous feeling. We call it sixfold equanimity.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Okay, any I forgot Audrey Ho. You still have a question? Audrey Ho. Any question? If no question, then we stay another 3 minutes. Okay. Audrey, I will let Audrey who asks. Audrey who?
Oh, yes, Bhante. So
Okay.
just now the question on the question on the pseudo Kriya Chitta.
Okay.
There is one that is equanimity, the wholesome kusala, the kusala chitta, the
Mahakusala, yeah.
There is one that is equanimity associated with knowledge,
Yeah.
and unprompted. So is that not, if like associated with knowledge, does it also mean that there is no craving inside, and therefore it's also same as the pseudo Kriya Chitta?
No, actually, according to Abhidhamma, eight Kriya Chaitas. So there's no craving, and there is no ignorance.
Okay.
So our kusala karma are motivated by sometimes ignorance and sometimes craving. Suppose you want to reborn as a devas because of that craving, then you do wholesome things. So you are wholesome things called kusala karma. So that kusala karma is motivated by ignorance and craving. But
even though it is associated with knowledge, Bhante?
We can say so, yeah. Even though you know that this is good deed. Suppose that dana is good. You know that, knowing that you also, number one, so you know that dana is good. Okay. That is associated with the knowledge, right? Okay. Associated with the knowledge. Then behind your motivation to do dana, then you have desire to be born as a deva. That's craving. So that craving arises because of ignorance. So your motivation to do dana is motivated by craving and ignorance. Even though you have associated with the knowledge. So that is, of course, this is a mahakusala. There's mahakusala.
Okay,
so yeah, my point here is if we are doing good things, we without any craving, without any ignorance, we do it, knowing that it is very good for me, for others, right? So if you are talking something, knowing that it is good for you, for others, without any ignorance or without any craving.
Okay, understand. Thank you.
So time is up. So sorry that we can continue our discussion next Saturday. So we still need to discuss about Kriya Chaita, functional consciousness, because I think it is important for us. We can practice we can stay like Arahant, even for 1 minute, very quiet down, you see. Even we can practice like Arahant for 1 minute, that is 1 minute Kriya Chaita, I will say that. But of course, it is not in accordance with the Abhidhamma. Then I just give my assumption. Okay, so thank you so much. So let's recite the verses. Yo varatam pavaro manu jesu Sakya Muni Bhagavakata Kecho Parakato Bala Viriya Samangi Dan Sukatan Saranatamu Pemi Ragavi Ragama Ninjama Sokan Dhamma Masangata Mapatikulan Madura Mimamba Gunan Suvipadan Dhamma Miman Saratnatamu Pemi Yata cha dena maha palamahu Chatusu susi su buddhi sayugesu Atacha bogala dhammata sati Sangha miman saranatamu pemi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night, everyone.